Hello and welcome to Podcasts. I'm Cassie, your host, and I'm excited that you have decided to spend a little time with me today to expand the mind and to really just help ourselves. I am recording this episode today without a clear direction with where I want to go, so I don't have a title. Usually, what I'll do is I'll come up with a title and bullet points about what I want to talk about, but today I'm just feeling inspired to speak from my intuition, from my heart, from the energy of the collective to feel out what people need to hear. It's not always what I feel like talking about, but I think today they're going to go hand in hand because I'm really passionate to talk about the things that you want to hear about, even if it's not the first thing that comes to my mind. So I'm just going to take a second here and sort of tune in. And so just give me a few seconds here and then we'll get going. Okay. And if you'd like, actually right now, take a few breaths with me. Take a few breaths, center in, because this is going to help you take in this content as well. Okay? Okay. I'm going to talk about the self-love movement right now, which basically is, if you're on social media at all, you will see a lot of hashtag self-love, hashtag help yourself, hashtag, all the things, all the hashtags about um, all the ways that we can help ourselves. Personal development and self-help books and self-love, self-trust. These are all really amazing things that we need to harness. But I always like to be the devil's advocate with ideas that are really big and out there and that so much of the collective is consuming. Because ultimately, if we're all consuming these big ideas, then eventually we're going to kind of own these ideas as our own and teach other about these ideas, about how we do our self-love, self-care, all that stuff. And it was interesting because when I first met my boyfriend, Joe, he kind of talked to me about this, about how, all of the new age spiritual, and I don't know if he was using the term spiritual, but just this new age, new generation, just coming out there basically preaching to be selfish. And he's like, I don't think that that's like a good message, that you really need to like care only about yourself, because that's just going to make you very egotistical and not care about anyone else. And I was at first a little defensive about that, because I'm all about self-love. I'm all about giving yourself what you need and doing the things for yourself that would benefit you ultimately. So I was a little triggered at first when because he actually does have a lot of opposing opinions that not really, but he likes to play the devil's advocate too, and that's why we have not why we have such a great relationship, but it's one of the reasons, is because we never get bored talking, because we're not afraid to challenge each other's ideas. We're not afraid to challenge big ideas or big religions or theories. And it's so fun to just like, what if this is how things worked? Or what if this is how this came about? What if the earth appeared in this way, or whatever? All of the esoteric, the spiritual, the scientific. We love just dissecting ideas that are really big and kind of coming up with our own conclusion in a way, or at least being curious about like, what if this is the case? And most recently we're talking a lot about aliens, because we're not only loving, the whole like all of the flying saucer, oh my god, my mind, all of the UFO sightings and everything like that, and disclosure that's pretty much happening now. It's super exciting, but we're also watching X-Files. And I can't believe that I don't know, like the 15-year-old me would never imagine me watching anything like that because I just, I have this, I used to be scared a lot. I would be really scared to even like, um, to even just give any time and attention to ideas that are very obscure to the average person, like aliens. I don't know. I think nowadays, okay, this is just a little tangent on aliens. Nowadays, I think it's more strange to not believe in aliens. Personally, not that I think that you're strange if you don't believe in aliens, but I think it's more strange these days in my mind to not believe in them. Whereas before, when I was younger, I was very okay with not even thinking about it. It's not that I didn't believe in them, it's just I don't even want to give any attention to this idea because it scares me. I'm like, I'm gonna get a nightmare if I talk about it. That's how I used to live. But now I'm dreaming of aliens all the time because I'm obsessed with them, and I'm not obsessed with them. That sounds a little weird, but I mean, if you're obsessed with aliens, I think that's cool. And there's so much to explore out there in the different dimensions, if you know what I mean. So anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. But coming back here to, sorry if it's loud, there's a lot of traffic outside. I have my windows open. So there's, goodness gracious. There's a farmer's market down up the road, and there's so much traffic, and there was an accident that all of the traffic got all clogged up in front of my house. Anyways, okay. That was just a little tangent there. Okay. So coming back to the idea of really coming up with your own, discerning your own feelings about some big idea. So let's go back to what I've decided to talk about today, which is the self-love movement. I think this is epic. It's amazing. Just like, the body positive movement and things like that. But the thing is, people will take these and skew them and kind of use them in different ways, which is fine. That's why it's so great to be alive and to be a human in the United States, is we can kind of create our own opinions and say whatever we feel. But when it comes to truly working on yourself and truly loving yourself, those are the people that truly, truly do. Those are the people that show up for others in a bigger, bolder, brighter way. But the people that kind of use it as an excuse, self-love as an excuse to be antisocial, which it's fine to be antisocial, of course, but it's so important. I think it's so important to connect with other humans, whether it's out picking berries on a farm or at the bar, whatever your choice is. But when you are so focused on just serving yourself what you think you need, what other people are saying that you need, this is self-love. This is how self-love is defined. You need to give yourself a bath every night. You need to eat this type of food. You need to change your life by X, Y, Z. Now, that is where it gets a little fishy, because when it comes to anything, I mean, as a coach, I don't sit down with every single client and speak the same way, give the same type of feedback or tools to use. Every single person is so different on this planet that I will never tell the same two people to eat the same thing, to work out the same way, to wear certain clothes. I mean, you can go on. So when it comes to the whole self-love movement, I think it's absolutely incredible to tell people that they need to take care of themselves. But people are doing this on the surface level. They're saying, oh my God, I had a shitty day, so I'm gonna, even though I didn't make a lot of money at work, say you're a waitress or something, like I used to be a waitress, I had a really shitty day at work, I'm gonna get a pedicure. That's self-care, hashtag self-care. How many times do you do that or post that or see those types of posts? And you end up getting your pedicure and it's great, and you end up spending more money than you wanted to, but whatever, it's fine. And then you wake up the next day and you go to work and oh my God, it's another shitty day. Crap. All right, I'm gonna go and get some takeout after work because I fucking deserve it. Hashtag self-care, hashtag self-love. Again, this is where it gets tricky, is where we are living on the surface. This is the surface level self-love movement where it's basically any excuse to give yourself what your ego wants. That's the thing. People don't get that. Is you're not, self-love is not, okay, this is good. Self-love is not giving your ego what it wants. It's giving your soul what it needs. Self-love is not giving your ego what it wants. It's giving your soul what it needs, which is ultimately what your soul really wants. So you don't have to think about like, okay, what do I need right now? Because I know for me, when I frame things in a way of I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, I get in my own way because I'm like, I feel a lot of resistance when I feel like there's pressure. And when you use the terminology, I mean, be careful with your words, the way you speak to yourself. That's why it's called spelling. You're casting spells as you speak and as you think. So if you think in limiting ways, if you think in ways that are even just, those certain words that trigger a response. Like for me, it's when I feel pressure or control, that's when I want to go batshit crazy. I mean, I'm not so bad anymore, but that I'm more reactive when I feel pressure, and that's the fight or flight, that's the survival. That's kind of how you're designed. That is how you're designed to be, but you want to be in control of that. You want to understand what you really, really want in your soul. And how do you find that out? Well, your intuition, which is always speaking to you. And I've noticed that getting off of social media this last 10 days of I guess I haven't even talked about that on my podcast. I've decided to take the last 10 days of my 30-day challenge in June to be social media free. And I didn't do this because I wanted to do it. I didn't do this because my ego wanted to do it. My ego was actually like, fuck that. I need to tell everyone how I'm doing every day. I need to share my everyday little successes or my tips. I need to make sure people are aware of what I'm doing. And my ego kind of freaked out. I mean, nowadays my ego freaking out isn't as big of a scene in my head as it used to be because I understand. I knew coming into this month that my ego would be like, but girl, don't you want that burger though? You want that burger though. And all of the mostly screams from the ego of like, no, don't do it. Like the immediate, just like, no. But that's when I knew that it was right. Was hearing my ego being like, I don't think so. Because when your ego says that, when your ego is like, no, I don't think so, it typically means that you're about to enter another realm of expansion, which is uncomfortable for the ego to think about and to fathom because it's an unknown. We don't know what that's going to bring. We don't know what this whole month is going to do. We don't know if I'm going to be starving every day or if I'm not going to lose weight or if I'm not going to have awesome after pictures. There's a lot of unknown that the ego will attach onto in order to tell you to stop up-leveling. But in your ego's mind, I guess, it's not up-leveling, it's scary change. So when you understand that feeling of, shit, this isn't right, that's when you understand that that's your ego, you can say, okay, I expected you to say this. I knew that you were coming. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you for really, truly trying to keep me alive and supporting me, ego. I really appreciate that. I always say we don't want to shun the ego, like fuck off, Becky, or whatever you call your ego, because it's going to come back louder. So when you kind of think of it as a little child who just is really like, oh my God, I'm going to die, you just have to be like, oh my God, Tommy, little Cindy, we're going to survive, and we're actually going to not only survive, we're going to thrive. And you have to really harness that feeling, that overall big goal type of picture feeling of accomplishment, and really try to embody that feeling every single day. Embody the feeling of accomplishment every single day. And what does that mean? Well, it's kind of like taking affirmations to another level, but this is better because it's more visceral. Do you know the feeling of like having an anxiety attack? That's a visceral feeling. And when you feel that, it's your body, and then your mind reacts, and then your body reacts again, and it's this endless cycle. So we have to make sure, we get ahead of this cycle before it even starts. Okay? We have to, I definitely went on a little tangent here, but I think it's worthy of being said with this whole self-love movement and everything like that, because instead of just going on the surface level of, I've got my nails done, self-care. No, what do you really need? What does your soul actually want? After a long day of work and you're exhausted and you're so pissed at your boss or whatever, if you continuously feel that way every single day, you are letting your outside circumstances control how you are feeling internally. And that is 100% disempowering yourself. So in order to really, really feel self-love is by empowering ourselves to not only feel worthy, but also to really trust ourselves. We have to trust ourselves. We have to trust ourselves in order to truly feel the love for ourselves. Because if we don't trust ourselves, then we're going to say, yeah, okay, whatever. And that self-trust, where does it come from? Integrity. And where does your integrity come from? Your intuition. It's all a chain reaction. Your intuition is always speaking to you. And if you are ignoring it, even though I love this idea that I just came up with, it's happened because I am not using my phone right now as much as I always have been. Oh my God, it's been bad lately, and that's why my intuition told me to cut the crap, put the phone down, 10 days, you can do that. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do that. I've gotten to the point where I feel like I can't not listen to my intuition. It doesn't feel really, really bad when I don't listen to it in those little moments. Like, say, for example, I was still on social media. It wouldn't be like I'm suffering every day or I'm in pain every day. It's just that I'm not excelling. I'm not doing what's ultimately the best for myself. And your intuition is always there to tell you, whether it's a food. I mean, this is something that I heard about from another intuitive, a psychic type of person. And what she was saying is, if you aren't sure what your body needs or wants food-wise, because we hear the whole thing, meat's good, meat's bad, plants are good, certain plants are bad. I mean, I've listened to so many doctors that have opposing views that it's like, what the hell? I don't even know. Even the best doctors say things that I'm like, wait, what? I just heard what? And it leaves you confused. The whole nightshade thing and the lectin thing. I mean, I'm not going to go on a nutrition tangent, but there's a lot of doctors and researchers out there that are making you really truly believe something, and then it gets what's the word? The complete opposite opinion is expressed from another doctor the next day. And so it's like, okay, wait, so should I eat tomatoes or should I not? Are they good for me or are they not? Maybe they are, or maybe they're not. And you just get, we need to, what was my point in bringing up the food thing? We need to understand what our needs are. Oh yeah, intuition. By our intuition through, okay, this is what someone, I'll just say Elizabeth April, if you want to look her up, she's amazing. Speaking of aliens, she channels aliens. If that's your thing, go check her out, Elizabeth April on YouTube. So she would say, like, if you're at the grocery store and you grab a pineapple and you hold the pineapple in front of you, you basically become like a pendulum where you can give yourself the answer of what you need. Like, your body will tell you if you need it or not, or if it's not going to benefit you. So you hold the pineapple, and if you're right in front of your body, and if your body naturally, now you just, this is easier over time because I've practiced this now. I'm like, oh, what do I want? What do I know? I don't know. And I'm like, should I have this right now? And what I'll do is I'll hold whatever the food in front of my face, in front of my body. And if your body sways towards it, like if it naturally kind of just like shifts towards the food, then yes, your body is intuitively like wanting that food. But if it shifts away, then maybe put the food down and walk away. That's just something fun that is interesting to try. Not saying that's how you should make every single decision in your life, but if you're really in tune with your intuition, or if you want to get in tune with it a little bit more, this is a perfect way of doing that because it is really simple and really easy. And what's the worst that can happen? Especially if it's a pineapple, you know what I mean? So I just found that really interesting. And like this idea that I thought of when I was in the woods about how we are always being spoken to from our intuition. So when you make a big goal, like for example, this whole month for me, it's just kind of really owning and honing into my habits and just like refining them and doing what's best for me. And that's being more intuitive and listening to that. And where this really helps is in every little moment, especially when you feel, again, is this healthy for me? Should I have this? Or should I consume this or not? Should I walk here? Should I go there? Your intuition is always talking to you. So in every little moment, that is when your integrity is built. And that is how your self-trust is built, which is how your self-love is truly built from the core. Because you can't love yourself if you're just, again, doing the surface area, pissed off, gonna treat myself, and then you wake up again the next day like pissed off. You're not solving anything. So your intuition will help you, your intuition will help you adjust your habits because it will tell you what is working for you and what is not. Your body, for me, my body is the intuitive. It's not like I'm a clairvoyant and I hear I hear buzzing, when sometimes, which I think is like an ascension symptom, and it's just something that happens to a lot of us, a lot of frequencies out in the air. But I feel it in my body. It's really interesting. The past year or two, ever since my first spiritual awakening, I have this feeling inside of me that comes and goes sometimes. Sometimes it's when I'm really, really sad, but it's weird. It feels like when I feel really, really happy, and it's in my body. It's not like in my head. I'm not thinking like, oh my God, this is so funny. It's this feeling that I have inside of me. And I'm still working on what all of this means and how I'm like deciphering it. But for me, I find that it's love. That feeling feels like so much love. And that's why when I do cry and when I am upset these days, I feel more love there's this love that comes through because I'm able to allow my emotions to move through me really easily to the point where it's almost like a child where I get really upset and I cry, or like I get emotional really easily, but then it's gone and it's fine because I moved through it really fast. And I think that's also happening right now for the collective in the energy shift that's going on in this crazy, amazing year. It's so incredible. I feel the effects of it. I usually feel like the collective changing and, the whole energy shifting outside of me. But now, recently, I've really felt this in myself. And actually, I kind of want to do a podcast episode on that. And I think I might, because it's really, really interesting how I have shifted in such a natural way where I'm not in the trying anymore. It's just happening because I've retrained my brain. I've honed into my intuition, especially without my phone these past few days. Like, I am a clear channel. I plan on potentially doing the last 3 days as a fast, like a water/juice fast, because I've heard so many amazing benefits to this. People that could not get out of their own way when it comes to dieting, and people that really try and stuff like that. A lot of times when they do 3 days of fasting, boom, not that I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm trying to recalibrate my body and get it to working as best as it can so I have longevity and vivacity. by va- by that what by that vitality. Oh my gosh, as smart as I am, sometimes words just are made up in my head. Vivacity, that's funny. Vitality. Who doesn't want to live a really beautifully energetic, expansive life? I know that's always my goal, and it should be yours too if you're on planet Earth, because that's not only impacting you when you're down at the dumps all the damn time and you're just trying to get through your day every day until the day you die. That's not creating any positive ripple effects for anybody. It's not creating positive ripple effects for yourself. And that is huge to do. I used to think ripple effects, it's always been my mission to create positive ripple effects out there in the world. But I've realized that when I create positive ripple effects for myself by following my intuition, which helps me stay in integrity, which helps me love myself, other people are catching my vibe. I'm spreading that energy and I'm uplifting the consciousness of the collective by doing that for myself. So in order to truly love yourself, I know that I kind of went all over the place today, but in order to truly love yourself, this is what we all want. It's not going to get a pedicure, it's not taking a bath. Of course, please do all those things because they're fun and it's great. We're human, let's experience it. Treat yourself, do all the things, but if you are consistently ignoring what your soul wants, which is ultimately what you need, but again, we don't want to frame it that way. We want to frame it as, what do I really want? What do I really, really want? Not what my ego wants, not what my brain wants. That's pretty much your ego, your monkey brain. Oh my God, I need sugar. No. It's what your soul really wants for you. Because you're here to expand and to grow and to learn on this planet and to help others do that. So I hope this helps you today. And if you are looking for more tools about how to love yourself, about how to truly harness that integrity and really zone into your intuition and try to have a better relationship with that, then please email me, message me. Whatever you want to do, reach out to me. I'm a coach, and this is what I do. I love this. This is what I thrive off of. I want to help you. I want to help anyone that feels like they're caught in a cycle of consistent self-sabotage. I went through that for 10 years, so you don't have to do that for 10 years. I have learned through my experience, so you don't have to spend so many years learning through experience. You can just learn from me for just 1 month and you will be set for life if we ingrain these new beliefs and ways of life and habits and all of this subconscious programming in order to truly move forward into a better realm. Not moving forward into like the same type of place, Where do you want to be in 1 year, in 3 years, in 10 years, even 1 month from now? Do you want to be in the same spot that you are right now? Do you want to be a little bit more behind, or do you want to be ahead of the game? Do you want to be ahead of yourself? You should always be in competition with yourself of yesterday. So in 30 days, that's 30 times stronger. That version of you is 30 times stronger than the you of today. But if you don't change anything now, and if you say, I'm not ready, then you're never going to be ready, and you're never going to change your life, and you will be on your deathbed someday, and you'll regret all of the things that you wish you had the courage to try, that you wish you had the courage to open up to. I'm going to leave it at that today. I hope that this episode found you well. I hope that it resonates, and I hope that it changes your life in any positive way. Even if it's just a little nugget, I would love to hear. Message me on Instagram. Again, I'm not on Instagram right now, but I'll get it when I get back on. And you can also email me. Right now, my email I'm using is cassandradesaro@gmail.com. So it's my full name, Cassandradesaro @gmail.com. So email me any feedback, any topics that you would like me to discuss. Or if you are looking to hire a coach, or you want to see my pricing, or you want to see what the deal is, there's no pressure. There's no pressure, okay? So just reach out and we'll get you going, all right? I appreciate you for listening today. I will catch you next time on podcasts.